Now, some motorcycles that I've owned are truly beautiful, and some are really a beast. This bike, fortunately for me, is both, and you can watch it all in 4K. Just adjust your YouTube device. Today is just an absolutely beautiful fall day to get out on our GS, and I always think, as I'm getting the bike prepped up and pre-flighted and taking care of things around here, is it beauty or is it the beast? I don't know. Maybe it's both. So every time I'm out riding this bike, actually all my bikes, I always try to think of some way of describing what my emotions are. And I always think, as I'm pre-flighting a bike, I look at it and I think this is one of the nicest styled bikes of all time. Just me, all in the eye of the beholder. And then I get the engine started, let it warm up and everything. I think, ooh, that sounds like a nasty engine going on there. And as soon as you get out on the open road and hold the throttle open for any length of time, you go, it's not only a beautiful bike, it's beauty and the beast. That's a good way to put it. Maybe I'm stealing Disneyland's logo or something. Anyway, today, as always, we feed the birds. Karen's got some cooking she's doing while I'm out on the open road. We got chores to do on a farm. It's the fall. You can see leaves everywhere. The leaves are changing. The fish are hungry as can be. They're still eating like there's no tomorrow. We still have flowers in the garden. We still have some roses. We still have, well, our decorations for Halloween are still out in front of the house. And this time of year when it's nice and cool in the morning, boy, just the thought of get your winter riding gear on, get out on the open road, it's a special feeling. And for me, having that last cup of coffee, the trees in the neighborhood are already changing, I'm ready to go riding. So as I'm out riding, and every time I stop to take a photo or a little video clip, I look at the bike and I look at it from every possible angle, and I think, boy, I just don't see a lot of bikes that I think are more attractive to me. Now, of course, you got people that like modern bikes, sport bikes, Harleys, Moto Guzzies, whatever. But to me, this is the bike that when I was younger, I kind of fell in love with this bike in 1982. And it's only gotten more beautiful as time has gone by. And I realized that the beauty, the styling, the paintwork, everything has stood the test of time. And there's a certain beauty to all machinery. Here's a big land moving piece of equipment. It's a piece of machinery. Well, you know what? This is a piece of machinery too. And the people that made that piece of machinery didn't have to worry about making it attractive. The people that did this had to get it right. But all the beauty in the world isn't worth much if the performance doesn't live up to what you expect. And in this case, the performance exceeds it in every possible way. The low-end torque, beautiful power band, and hold it wide open, and you better be holding on. Another thing, when you style a bike and you want it to be beautiful, and when you're all done, it turns out it's as beautiful as can be, but it's not comfortable to ride, or it's not fun to ride, or some other thing that doesn't work for you, then it's all in vain, because the two have to go together. The beauty and the beast have to go together. And sometimes when I'm looking at this bike from a lot of different angles, whether it's in the garage or out on the open road, I think of how easy it would be to get something wrong. And I've seen other people that have made modifications to the bike that I don't think made it more attractive. And to be honest, I've done some that I've undone. An example of that is I have two seats for the bike, and I have one that gives you a little bit lower riding position that I got when I bought the parts bike. I put it on. It looked real cool. It had the look of like a, I don't know, like a cafe racer. And then when I went out for a ride, 2 hours into the ride, I said, my knees are getting cramped up here. I'm not in the right position. Well, Suzuki got the seat on this bike right. And the one mod that I've done to the bike that I think is worth its weight in gold is the 530 chain conversion from 630. That saves a ton of weight. And the overdrive gearing, 1640, it allows me to have an overdrive when I'm on Route 80. And there's another thing about the bike that I think is really cool, that from every angle that I've ever looked at the bike from, I've taken pictures of it and then put them on a computer and said, what would I change on a bike? Gee, make the tank a little taller, make the side covers a little lower, put an angle here, or put a something here, or a stripe, a star, or whatever. And every time I look at it, I think it would really be hard to do something to this bike to make it that you could honestly say, I've made a big improvement to the appearance of the bike. Now, I know, because in my heart of hearts, I've been trying for 42 years. Now, I don't have the stock exhaust system on the bike. I do have a stock exhaust. I have two of them, in fact. And the one thing I do like about this is an 86 exhaust. I had to make some custom carbon bracketing to adapt it. It's not a bolt-on. You've got to do some work. But I do love the sound. It's got just a little bit more of a rumble sound, and yet it's still good, for me anyway, in populated areas. And one thing about this bike, it is just a comfortable bike. I love these back roads, which tend to be a little bumpy, a little slippery, a little leaves in the road type of thing going on. But this bike just so comfortable, and just roll on that throttle anytime you need some excitement or you're bored. I just couldn't resist taking some pictures by this big puddle here. I just thought that was a rare opportunity to get like a mirror image of the bike. I thought that was pretty cool. But everybody's going to have different tastes. If you look there, it even reflects the sky. I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, the artistic part of the day is over. It's time to get back to the farm. I know Karen's cooking away. And this has just turned out to be a wonderful day to be out on the open road. And as I always say with this bike, the longer the day is, the bike just gets better and better and better as the day goes on. You never get a sore back or wrists. For this time of year, you just never want to miss a riding day. Absolutely beautiful weather, nice and cool, mid-50s. It just couldn't be nicer. Absolutely beautiful. And I'm so glad. In 42 years, this guy hasn't disappointed me once. So I hope you have enjoyed watching, sharing our little ride on the GS. And all I can say about this bike, it just gets better as it gets older.